Hi, Carolyn, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great, great. Welcome to this webinar. Let's see, trying to admit more. How are you doing, Carolyn? Wishing you a very happy new year, first of all.
Thank you. Same to you.
Great, great. I have another guest. I see the name here, LL Studio, but maybe you can help me to name it.
Yes, Lucious, sorry. Yeah, I'm at work right now, but nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Lucas.
Yeah, Lucious.
Lucious, right, right.
Yes, sir.
Great, great. Nice to meet you. Happy New Year and
Happy New Year to you too. Thank you.
yes, thank you so much. Let's wait for some more time, 1 or 2 minutes, and then otherwise I'll kick this off. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So I think let's kick this off. In the meantime, if more people join, I'll keep them admitting. The way these webinars are not like, these are no sales call or sales webinars. So these are very interactive webinar. We discuss with each other what are the problem, pain point, solution that you have. And of course, I will also sort of introduce you to CrawlQ, and when necessary, we can also do kind of deep dive. Is that okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sure,
Yes, it
sure.
does.
And just to manage expectation, maybe you can briefly mention what you do, Caroline, and then Lucious. Then I can pull something which is kind of, very relevant for you, both of you. And if more people join, then of course, always can turn the tables around. But you can start, like what you do and what you're looking for on today's webinar.
Well, I do a lot of different things, but I'm into marketing. And I do social media for my clients. I do
Mhm.
video creation, video marketing, websites. And our recent venture, we're going to be getting into helping clients getting capital funding.
Capital funding, right,
Mhm.
right.
That's where
Yeah,
our newest venture we're going to have.
great, great. Congratulations. And Lucius?
Yes, I'm more into the marketing and video production, but we also looking to branch out into doing email chatbots and PWA, progressive web apps, but mostly target and also website membership, like directories. Focus on more into business, entertainment, and music artists. So that's our clientele. Kind of like a combo of working off each other, networking, and seeing who can help who to progress in a business and career.
Right, right. Makes sense. So thanks for this background. And let me share my screen, and I'll start with some context, and then I will jump into the tool. And feel free to interrupt me at any point. So it's very interactive, and I wanted to get maximum out for both of you. And
Okay.
I'm keeping my eyes also on the invite, so more people join, then I'll admit them. It's still the start of the new year, so many people are still on relax, right? They have not picked up the things. So it's this webinars are generally sometime quiet, sometime packed. But let's start this. So the basic goal with this CrawlQ with the SaaS that we are talking about here is turning your website into organic growth machine, and at the same time we want to be extremely capital efficient. This is all-in-one artificial intelligence tool for market research and content creation together. And you'll see how these two things come together in next few steps when we go also inside the tool. And the most important part is, of course, when you talk about your audience, I also talk about my audience. Not necessarily that we are talking in a specific way to digital marketing or what you are exactly telling me right now, but this is especially for people who are wearing three hats of being founder. They are also marketing their product, services, and they are also creating content. And of course, they are too focused on expensive paid traffic, generating poor quality leads, and that results especially in long sales cycles, and content authority is lacking on that part. So does that make sense to both of you? I'm sure you are also business owner, and then
Yes.
you're also wearing these three hats together, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
10
So
4.
right. So the next idea that I wanted to bring forth is, of course, you can be successful with content marketing if you focus on the customer. So if you create customer-centric content funnel that model their journey from starting to end, and then this approach really will help us to turn our website and especially our business data-driven, more automation in the content that we create. And also it will fuel the organic growth. It will convert our website into an organic growth machine. This approach is sort of bit more data driven than usually you see in the funnels, how you build website. Most of the time you have seen a funnel is working like you have demo booking call, you press the button, you go to the next step, then you have some description of what the service is about, and then finally you go to a thank you page. There are different types of funnel, upsell funnel, downsell funnel, but most of these funnels also have a very heavy backend. So when I'm talking about funnel, I'm talking about that heavy backend that do the magic in the back. You can create a funnel, nice looking website, but if there is no heavy backend that support that funnel with content, with right messaging, with right step, with right data, with right insight, right? Then it's just a website. It's just like people clicking on those steps, but nothing is happening. So each funnel steps has to be backed properly in the backend with the right type of content messaging. And that's where I'm talking about customer-centric content funnel. So just to make sure that we are on the same page on this, a little bit on the background. So we launched CrawlQ as an initial beta version in November 4 back in 2019 in Lisbon and Web Summit. Then after this last year, there was also 2-time launch on the marketplace and also on the Epsumo. So that's our journey so far. A little bit on myself, cutting this short and not necessary read. I have 17 plus years of experience with the industry. I also get involved recently, last 5-6 years, with machine learning algorithms and how big corporates create data science and AI applications. Especially my interest was drawn in the field of content marketing. So I started applying my domain knowledge in banking and finance and algorithmic product development for the content creation. Of course, I also struggled and I'm still learning many things which I'm trying to put together into CrawlQ. So of course, I started learning and translating these insights that I got from my previous background in the credit risk modeling to the content creation and how exactly to use data and content to map the customer journey and how to then use this customer journey for content creation. Again, we have many people, of course, from AppSumo, Lifetime, also, and also recently, more and more people are joining us on this monthly recurring subscription basis as well. Now, coming to the content goal, I think this is a good starting point where you can interrupt me. But what I'm trying to pull together some insights here. There are three buckets always when you start your content goal. Either you wanted to create a content which can rank on Google, page one of Google, or you wanted to create a content that is aimed at sales and conversion, or you can create a content that develop your authority and brand influence. Now, if you look back past year, even if you look back later on your website, if you cannot put any of this content into three bucket, then this is almost like you can trash it, because without these three goals, there is no much use of online content except you might be learning it or creating something else. But most of the time, it's you wanted to rank on page one of Google, you wanted to create content, sales and conversion, and how these three goals are sort of in the center stage with CrawlQ, because CrawlQ help you to build information architecture. It helps you to create buyer personas. That's what we are calling about profiling your ideal customer, or sometimes I also say how to identify your Fred, how to discover your Fred. Fred is acronym for someone, a real life person that you know is your best friend. This person has fears. This person wants results. This person has expectations. This person has desire. So this is your buyer persona, real customer avatar, based on the real life person that you know and you can talk to, and you can take this person on a coffee date. Information architecture comes from different data sources that artificial intelligence learned from AI models, but also data from Google and different sources of data. And also a lot of data from competitors also pulled inside the tool. And basically, the goal is to create content which fall in one of these buckets. If it do not fall, if the content do not fall in one of these buckets, then you can almost trash it, or CrawlQ will already sort of create not the content which you will put in a trash bucket. Are you with me at this stage? Am I making some sense or going too technical or
No,
so on?
I understand. I
No,
got it.
I understand also.
Mm-hmm. Yes, at any point, if I go to technical, keeping your background with digital marketing, I know 80% of people might notice to be familiar with these concepts and ideas, but feel free to interrupt me. Now, one more step before I jump inside the tool. So the basic idea here is we wanted to create organic growth. We wanted to model customer journey, customer behavior. At the same time, we want to use this to profile sort of customer in a way that we can use this information for content creation. Now, how you will do in the old setting, like if you don't have this tool, you will be using surveys, you will be creating questionnaires, you will be making interviews, or you hire expensive research or rating agencies. Even you might be going door to door collecting the data, or you might be collecting a lot of calls, like thousands of calls, and try to figure out on an evidence basis what's pain point desire of the customers. Now, most of the time problem with these is it's not scalable. With these surveys, many people, like mostly 5% research participant complete those surveys. Also, you introduce a lot of biases. What if you design wrong questionnaire? What if you are talking to people who are not right people, right? and the results obviously are poorly defined audience and product profile, and it take long time to market. Now, in the new setting, what we are going to use here is AI text mines the desires, roadblock, and suspicion. So we start with one person. We call this our best friend. He's our friend. He fits into our problem solution space, and we use artificial intelligence to dig into the desires, suspicions, roadblock of this person. And we build semantic and psychographic sort of knowledge around this person, right? And what we do in the with this is we wanted to combine customer behavior with real data insights. So that's this idea. Now the results could be that these new methods can help us to get sales before we build our product or services, or we find offers that immediately resonate, or we create predictable business growth while being extremely capital efficient. And that's our main aim: how to create, how to turn our website into an organic growth machine while being extremely capital efficient. So that's our main target. Hi Phil, you just joined us. I have here Carolyn, Lucious, and you just joined. Both have also digital marketing background, and of course Phil yourself as well. So feel free on this very interactive webinar that I'm trying to achieve. So just feel free to open up an introduction if at this moment or a bit later. Okay, great. I got a thumbs up, Phil. Thanks. So just to recap, what I was trying to explain that with CrawlQ, you're trying to replace the old methods of market research using surveys, interviews, questionnaires. And then the results are obviously that you can cut all your research time by 1/10. You can achieve much faster insights into your audience, and taking this as a first step, right? You start iterating on it. So it's not that you are doing audience research only one time. You start with an assumption, you create content, you validate results, you measure some KPIs based on the data that you see, and you optimize on it. So that's the goal, right? So once you start, first month, you might be doing your initial research based on the best knowledge that you have on your audience, starting from your best friend, Fred, which I explained what is Fred, and then building upon that, this customer avatar, more and more abstract ideas you can combine together, and you take this approach in a way that is quite extensive than just to pick some keywords or topics, because this goes into both semantic and psychographic profile. And then our goal in the end is to identify customer journey and intent. So if we are creating content for the informational intent, then there is a different way. If we are creating content for the middle stage of the funnel, then there is a different stage of the journey, and obviously the bottom of the funnel journey. So we are going to use all this research component to create different customer journeys, and then create content and sort of create in a way which impact more conversions. So traditional goal of content creation is to bring a lot of organic traffic and then put some other mechanism to convert it, right? In this approach, we wanted to combine these two together. So the organic growth results by increasing this conversion and combining these two approach together. Some people talk about like SEO copywriting, and some people are really talking about conversion copywriting. And I'm trying to bring this together into one. So both there is organic growth in the traffic and also the conversion increase. And the underlying idea is to have customer journey and also understand deep about their pain points and speak in their tone, language, using a very structured approach. So does it make sense?
Yes, that does.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
sure. So without going to detail here, what I wanted to do here is directly jump into the tool and introduce you like what it looks like as a market research, what steps you took here, what steps you are going to take here, and how you're going to get results. So shall I jump into this at this stage, or you have some questions already for me?
The only question I have is, once you find a particular audience or a particular niche,
Yeah.
that once you do your 4 or 5, I mean the 10 or 12 questions, and you put into the power up Athea, right?
Athena. Yeah.
Athena, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put it through there. Once you do that, my only thing is how you unlock level market 2. You got to fill out the second form of niches, correct?
Yeah, I will explain
Okay.
this. What is market 2?
Okay.
So when you log in, of course, these workspace, right? Workspace is a business idea and it's not niche. So let's be very clear first, because it's a very confusing term, niche itself. Um, Most of the marketers and as such large community is used to call niche as a business idea. I a little bit tweak this information and I'm trying to combine first the person that we are targeting and the business idea together. And I'm calling this as a niche. When I call niche, for me, niche is a person who is living, breathing, having dreams, desires, and he is working in a specific problem and he has a problem and we have a solution, right? As a business owner. So you see it is a kind of 2 dimension. One is the person itself and the business idea. And the business idea is rooted in the problem, pain point that this person has, and what kind of solution we as a business owner is providing. So niche is not a topic or a business idea itself. Niche is a combination of the audience and the problem solution space that we have. And what brings them together is the kind of sweet spot that you have with respect to your skills, with respect to your education, with respect to your network, with respect to your knowledge about that domain. That combines these two together, right? I'm not talking about a random person as a Fred. I'm talking about a person that you can take on a coffee date, and this person actually falls into that problem solution space. He has some problem, you have some potential solution. That's where interaction. So when you see this 3D printing as a subject, ADSD pain point, Amazon affiliate marketing, artificial intelligence, book writing, B2B copywriting, blockchain, bride photography, budget travel to Belize, everything here you look is a business idea. And this business idea is also here available in the marketplace. So some of them are of course available free, but some of them are research and you can buy them. So if you wanted to have a very quick journey with CrawlQ, just like you check these workspaces, and if something falls in your domain, you will see that there are some details also on this workspace. So here we are talking about a thinker, tester, entrepreneur who is willing to test new ideas, who love testing new ideas, but this person is struggling to find the focus in his business. Main topic of interest, do-it-yourself business ideas. And then we have ideal Fred. He's 32-year-old, and there is a little story about this person. The result he wants to achieve, the question that he's asking is also here. So all of these ideas, they are evolving. I have planned to add more than 500 business ideas which are highly relevant, and this list is growing. So it's kind of a marketplace where you can just buy the recipe and just work on it, just make some changes. So hopefully I made it clear that when I talk about workspace, this is a specific buyer persona workspace. So if you're targeting 3 different type of audience, you will create 3 different workspaces. Even if you're having a slight different variation in your target, from real estate agent to someone who's a house flipper, or someone who is into mix of commercial and retail real estate, right? There could be many variations. You can be as specific as you want, And that's the goal of this market research. So shall I pull one of the example and then walk you through like how we should be doing this research?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
please.
yes, please, that'd be great.
Sure, sure. Just trying to arrange my screen. So
Yeah, the
here,
marketplace, oh, not to cut you off, sorry, but the marketplace is a good idea because I saw a couple of things that I'll probably definitely be buying, especially one on streaming service. So I like that. So I'll be looking into that.
right, it's like Canva or many other software, they have predefined research that is done. And that's also here, the predefined research, we can just change some variables and you're ready to start content creation. So that's like a quickest way to start with this. I here will try to pull something like, since you're from digital marketing and recently I did this research on how to get started in digital marketing in 2022. So hopefully this is something that we can all four or five of us can relate and work through it. Shall I do that? This idea how to get into digital marketing?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be fine.
Okay, cool. So there are two things. First, we are going to, I did a pre-step because otherwise it's going to take us long time. So I'll walk you through the steps that I did, and then I'll show you demo content. And I also recorded it while talking to another person. So I can share those videos also, like how step by step we did it. So that's also fine. I can share this after, but let's jump into this. So when I say market research, obviously they are deep dive level, but we are exploring the first step here, and that is about the niche itself, its demographics, semantics, psychographics. So let's start with our niche. This niche is student and young professional who is looking for a new career in digital marketing. It's a combination of like student, young professional. These people are looking for a new career in digital marketing. This is what you feed to the Athena or CrawlQ at this stage. We'll talk about Athena later, but let's say you started your first statement like this. It should not be difficult if you have already some business idea going on and you know minimum information. Even if you're a digital marketer working for your client, you have some basic information that what it is about, this businesses, and who are sort of a starting point to test the idea, right? So here I'm talking about young professionals, students. They are trying to turn into their career for digital marketing. I narrowed it down in the sense that I'm making it more specific. When I say more specific, it can be a little wordy, but teach artificial intelligence through different ways in a very specific way, like what we are trying to achieve. So student and young professionals who desire to open a new door for their career with digital marketing strategies, brand management, and growth hacks. Now see the difference between this statement and this statement. I am still talking about the same student and young professional, but I am breaking down the digital marketing into three categories: digital marketing strategies, brand management, and growth hacks. Why I am doing this? Because I don't want to give AI an idea that I'm talking broad digital marketing. I wanted to give AI very specific knowledge, idea, and tone and language also. So the words that you use here also set the tone, the language. In US, you might be calling it differently. Maybe in UK, you might be using a specific word that sort of resonate with that tone. So it's your own tone, language, and it need not to be very difficult. You can just get on a call or on a coffee date with someone who you know as a student and young professional is looking to start a new career, and then just write down without getting overwhelmed with this, right? So these two statements, carefully, if you notice, I have broken down it and made it more specific in the sense that I'm trying to tell AI what I'm looking for. I don't want to use word slave, but that is the goal. We almost want to slave artificial intelligence to produce outcome in a controlled way, because this artificial intelligence is like these GPT-3, AI-21, all these big models are trained on vast amount of internet data, and they work on the probability basis. So if I just say digital marketing, then it can go any direction of the digital marketing. And that's the reason you see in most of the other tools which are just based on keywords or even some descriptions, there is a probability that the content you create will go in a different direction. Here we are trying to limit that probability. And then we go one step more further. We say, okay, young students and professional, they're interested in data-driven research and human artificial intelligence to make right decisions. And they're aiming for growth with profitability and social responsibility. Now, this is kind of mouthful to talk like this, but I'm sure with some guesswork and some idea that is going on after talking to the student, you can word some of these. Still, this is my own tone, my own language that I wanted to give it, and you might have a different way to tell the same thing, right? But if you have noticed, I have not changed my initial target audience. This is still same young student professional. And I'm trying to tell AI, hey, from digital marketing, I'm going to marketing strategies, brand management, growth hacks. And in particular, I'm trying to achieve a career which is data-driven research. And I'm going to use human and artificial intelligence together. And I wanted to achieve this objective. Now, very quickly, vertical is digital marketing career opportunities. I know someone whose name is Cody James. He's 26-year-old student. He's pursuing an advanced hands-on training with I did this recent talk with Jenny Jones. So funnily, with some humor, I made it like Jenny Jones School of Advanced Marketing and crash course in California. And this Cody James, he desires to find a career opportunity in one of the fastest growing e-commerce retail brand as a digital product and brand manager. Are you still with me with these initial inputs? These are only the initial inputs. I know for some people it can be overwhelming, but if you just sit for 15 minutes with the person that you're talking, I'm sure this cannot be that difficult. You can tell me if it is really difficult.
No, I got it. I did a situation like that, not just recently, just testing out for goal setters, because I was thinking about doing a product release. So I tested it out, and surprisingly, it definitely like hit some key things after you narrow it down and just little research of who that person is and what a goal setter, goal achiever look for, someone or even someone who just looking to just get back on track. So I just did a little little search of keywords, key structure of what a person and people that I know and added into it, and it came out pretty damn incredible. So good job on the product.
Okay, great. That's nice to hear always. Initially, when we started, there was a lot of inputs, but we have really trimmed down it to most 8 or 10 questions. This is the real input that you gave it, but rest of the input, then they are automatically picked up, and we are still fine tuning. So basically, if you say, okay, my business domain is this, this is my legal name of the company, it comes on its own and fill this all information. Sometimes, of course, initially it is still building the knowledge, so you need to review it. So second step is you press the button after those 10 questions, and this all information get automatically filled up. So I'm already showing you the second window, but when you start a new workspace, you are asked like 10 critical business questions, and once you answer those, this all information, almost more than 55 questions are answered, and these questions are really important to go and deep dive into the audience, like first level of the research here. So we go into detail into demographics, we go into detail for semantics, and for my SEO friends, they can also apply their SEO knowledge here. So if you are trying to achieve a content which is based on your research, and this is like you wanted to try achieve some unicorn, let's say it's a high search volume, low on the keyword difficulty, still it's a long tail keyword, and also it is relevant to the customer journey. So here I was trying to create more like informational intent content, so high level content on the top of the funnel. So I took this topic, how to break into digital marketing in 2022. It was my long intent topic, but you can come up with any topic, because this topic is kind of linking pin on Athena's trend between the Google data and artificial intelligence. And of course, it has more such long tail topics like how to make six-figure income in digital marketing. But this is only I fed it initially, these two topics, and then it comes in on its own. The how to get 1 million visitors in a month, how to master digital marketing 5 minutes a day, how to get into digital marketing, how to spot a scam in digital marketing. I didn't ask it. It comes up on its own, and maybe it's an interesting topic which has not been touched upon yet. How Google is trying to help small businesses in 2022. That can be your headline solution or your website when you're trying to attract young students to get into digital marketing. Your niche headline can be what are the best SEO tips for the beginners, or a further headline can be how digital marketing can help in making six-figure income. So this is all like semantic knowledge. And then we go to the psychographics, where you start digging into emotional payoff, desire. In this also, the first statement you feed into it. So that's what I said, initial 10 question, and then boom, you press the button, and then you get all these 55 questions answered. And I have not yet talked about it. I'll come on it. But then you just first validate these answers. You correct them if really necessary, but they're really fine-tuned, so they give really good result. I got some feedback. I was going exactly this last night with another AI tool, and the results are good. I'll do the same with CrawlQ tomorrow and compare. Yeah, good. I think the results, when you talk about results, we are at this stage trying to build that research, and then we are going to train Athena on it. And what exactly I mean, I'll explain in a little bit. So desire to create.
Just one question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you were going back to
Yeah.
niches,
Semantics.
yes. You just fill in one question and then you click the fill with the AI and it fills the rest. Is that what happened?
I just filled initially the 10 question. You can again remove this, clear this, fill with AI, but you have to feed one answer to it. But what I haven't shown you is the starting. When you create workspace, it has a 10 set of question. You answer. It will take you maybe 10 to 15 minutes to think about them, or just have a coffee with someone and talk through the person and fill this information. But once you press that button, all this information is automatically filled. So this was pre-done. This is when you will do the new workspace. You just answer 10 questions, you press the button, and this all information will be filled. But essentially, this is what you are filling in the 10 questions. So first 5 questions, this niche, sub-niche, micro-niche, vertical. And then the first question from this, your website name, company name, then the main topic and long tail topic 1. And then this is shocking statement and emotional payoff. These are the set of questions that you're feeding, except your name, which I didn't count it, and your website name, which is easy to answer, and also company name. So if you take 3 questions out, then there are at least 9 questions that you're feeding in, and then this goes automatically. So it pulls up the data in a structured way and fed this information. So single big problem, you can't find a job in digital marketing. Problem agitation, inadequate technical skills for digital marketing. This solution is like agitation. You know this marketing formula, marketing framework, like problem, agitation, solution. Digital marketing professionals are in high demand, and you can profit from learning digital marketing. Single big question they're asking: would you like to have $1 million business through digital marketing? Result: get a clear path to start earning money by working just 1 hour a day. So if you notice these statements, there is still marketing and sales statements, and these are constructed based on some copywriting instruction to AI in the back engine. So what we are trying to achieve is like take initial information, I call it human intelligence, build upon that human intelligence, because you're seeding this artificial intelligence, some structured information, your tone of voice, and using this background information, artificial intelligence try to create structures, sentences, answer to this question, which are very specific, and it will help us to build the personas, the pain point, dreams, desire, suspicion, all these, it will help us, and it will also help us to create content later. Does it make sense? Because it's I can of course go on this, but it really structure the sentence based on copywriting framework and formula that sits behind the engine. So single big secret, breaking into digital marketing is possible even if you do not hold a university degree. I haven't told this statement to AI. I haven't seeded this idea. It came up on its own. And I think this is interesting angle, right? To talk about if you're talking to young professionals or students who wanted to make a career in digital marketing. So mistake, digital marketing is just a hype. Now we can debate about it, but it can be interesting to talk about this in your content. The feature, the author has been in digital marketing for over 18 years and has helped many companies to grow exponentially, benefit a step-by-step system that will teach you how to build $1 million business with digital marketing in 6 months or less. So if you see these structure sentences, they all go together, and it helps us further dig the gold with the data. And why I'm calling dig the gold, that means it take this information. So you see AI information, AI create further information in a structured way. And now we are seeding back this information again to AI to get more information. And I call this insights, but these are like really gold digging. And you can go through it. You can put your own idea here also, but this is quite deep, and I can spend like next 1 hour reading through this information, but this is really deep, and you don't need to. So let me take another approach here. So suppose if you need to hire some consultant, this consultant will be researching hundreds of white paper, going through 20 different sites. You will pulling information, putting in the suggested reading, and he will provide you finally one report, right? As a business person, you don't have time. So you will be looking at the final report, right? Final idea, final summary. But behind it has also some sort of layers of this research. And this is exactly what it is. These layers of research is going to help us further create a knowledge base, a semantic knowledge base that will help us to write very specific content in a very specific way. Rather than, so what we are doing here, we're limiting the AI's ability to go random. I'm not saying we are limiting creativity. We are still will be creative with it, but we are limiting to go random from our target audience and our business idea. And that's what we are trying to achieve as much as knowledge beforehand, before we start exact content writing. That's what all other tools are doing is content writing. This comes with first knowledge, and then use that knowledge to write the content. So that there's a big difference in it.
Harish, may I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
So I'm just trying to clarify this in my own mind. So I'm thinking of an analogy. So we have minimum viable products, and it's striking me at this level, because we're going to be doing iterations. We're looking for a minimum viable niche, and then we're going to hone that with several iterations. Is that kind of a framework that I can work around?
Yes, this is exactly the framework, that you start with a minimum viable niche idea, talking to a person that is your real customer, the person that you know, and then hone different data, intelligence, idea to create an abstract avatar, digital avatar, to customer avatar, so that you can further sort of iterate on it and validate on it as you go further with this. That's the idea.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a great deal of sense. That. Okay, I'm going to turn my mic off now. Okay. Yeah,
sure. The goal again is not to land up in a black swan, not to land up in a situation where we are only talking to one person. No, this is not the goal. When we are talking about a specific audience, we are also putting this person, this single person, in a specific problem solution space. When I'm talking to a person, we are targeting car washers. I'm not suddenly jumping my things and I'm talking to like a dentist or roof repairs or some other people, right? We are very specific in one audience and their problem solution. Even with that person, we are not talking about other type of things which do not relate to our problem. We are not talking about dishwashing problems of this person or other things. We are just fitting this from person in this framework and evolving our minimum viable niche idea by honing up different ideas together. And this research, sometimes if you're short on time, of course you can leave it as it is, but I strongly suggest, this is ton of information. If you have some time and patience to just you're already start creating content here. You're already creating micro pieces of the content, tweets. Every time, every minute that you spend here is not going to waste, because you are already going to create content by generating these insights. And when these are automatically saved, the next step will be to train Athena. And I will explain now what is Athena is all about.
Oh, before you get to that, I have to say that this tool, instead of writing, since video is popular, this tool right here, this weapon, I really like to call it a weapon, will put you ahead, especially if you do live streaming or just video content.
Mhm.
More people would see you reaching out to them with this tool, because you'll definitely have the visual, the sound, the the feeling of being understood by somebody who's talking your language. So I'm just throwing that out to anybody who's listening. If you want to really blow up in video, I think this tool right here will put you ahead of everybody out there.
Thanks for making the statement. I got similar question when I was writing long form content, and how does it help me to make videos? And I'll explain that once you're set up with this, right, you don't need to go back and look at it, because this is the powerhouse of knowledge that you feed it, and it stays there. It's like a library of knowledge that you have created, very custom designed for you. It's a custom content generation engine that we are creating right now here. So the niche information is there. What I mean by this is the information that you see in the middle section, this demographics, psychographics, and the insights. We already have this. Now we are stacking on it an additional source of information. When I say search intent, and when I click on this, so our main topic of interest is how to break. So here on this information icon, how to break into digital marketing in 2022. So now we have one sort of information which is there. Now we are asking Athena to go on Google and fetch all the information related to this topic, and fetch me, let's say, top 10 results from a specific country. So you can choose UK based on the country setting. But what essentially we're doing here, so we have the market research insights. Now we are pulling all the information that exists on the Google. But when I say 10, and just listen to me here, when I say 10, we are doing a 14 set of modification to this main topic. So we are saying how to break into digital marketing roadblock, how to break into digital marketing suspicion, how to break into digital marketing mistakes, how to break into digital marketing FAQs. So there are 14 different combinations, and I'm firing this query 14 times, fetching each time 10 results from the Google, not the actual content of the website, but what exists in the Google as a search results. So your meta tag, meta description, that essential information that you see while you yourself do this research, right? When you do this research, how to break into digital marketing, you will be opening Google, and then you will go the first page and you will note down some information. You will take some notes, right? This is exactly the idea automated in the back engine, that you are collecting all those information, because we don't want our competitors' content to get mixed up at this stage. We just want the main information. So if I search top 10 mistakes of digital marketing, then immediately you see in the Google 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first result, right? That sort of information we are fetching and feeding into this and making a database. So Athena is not like a new AI, but it's the intelligent layer that sit between user and the GPT-3 model, for example, or AI-21. We are, to be honest, we are using DaVinci Instructor GPT-3, which is the most advanced model at this stage. We tried other models. We trained our own model also, but this is the most advanced, and we are using the best use of GPT-3 because we are trying to get the information from user. creating a layer between, which is on the fly changing based on what content you're asking. So this Athena is kind of a smart, intelligent layer, and that talk to the language model. And that language model is GPT-3 slaved by this approach, because we are not allowing that model to spit out rubbish things. And you will notice this when you create content, right? That's the idea. Now, you can also add URL. So if you have a specific blog, scientific referral, reference, data, you can inject that. It's not the perfect solution right now, because sometimes the URLs are blocked by some other services, and sometimes you get a bit unlucky with this. And in the meantime, we are also adding that you can crawl your whole website. So all URLs of your website will also be in there. So we can create automated suggestions for the internal links, the topic clusters on your websites. That's coming up soon. Because if you remember, in the beginning when we launched, we had some different tools which were scattered together: SEO, topic clusters, content writing. In this new version, we try to bring them together via Athena. And that's what we, of course, people didn't like our idea to drop them and bring them in the new, but we had to face this hard challenge, and we would like to bring all of them through Athena. So Athena can automate many things that you do manually, like many content writing. You create content, still you need to struggle to find which is right internal link, and we wanted to add that too also. So that Athena will become like a powerhouse of knowledge, and that will drive the content creation. So conscious of the time, I'll jump into a snippet of the content that was pre-created. Let's see if it still exists. Yes, so let me briefly give the idea here, what is going on. So if I go back, the input. So the steps are simple here now, because we have trained Athena. Athena has a lot of knowledge about our audience, target audience. It has a story about the Cody James was the 24-year-old student who wanted to make career in digital marketing. Now we have to just give it these 3 inputs. So again, main topic of interest, not necessarily the main topic of interest has to be now how to break into digital marketing, but it can be different, how to bring organic traffic. Anything which is related to digital marketing, how to create videos script, or how to stay ahead of the competition in social media, anything that relates around that topic, right? That is connected. We put this main topic here. Still, this is going to fetch again more data on that specific purpose from Google. This initial content idea can be just like this: top 10 tips to get start or get smart at digital marketing, or 4 steps to master digital marketing. Any kind of headline that you can think of, 10 ways to do achieve something, or 5 things to do this and that. Anything, that idea, this initial idea that helps AI to connect the information that is already with Athena, and what problem we are solving in this blog. So it helps, for example, to understand how to break, how to take your career next step in digital marketing. Anything that helps reader, like step-by-step guide to get into digital marketing. This is what information I fed. So my idea here was 4 steps to master digital marketing. That was this this step here, and that's also my title, blog title. And with this, I already get the first level of the draft, which is almost 700 to 800 words. So it's the first level of draft that I will get with this content. Although what you see here is it's like we have created a cake, we have baked the cake. Cake is out from the oven. Cake is fresh. Cake now needs to be decorated. Now need to be optimized. Now you need to decorate the cake with some more chocolate. Put some side decorations, package it nicely. That's what we are doing. The first thing that you see a score here. This score is calculating how much this content that come first is highly related with your initial market research. So when I started this content, I did some decoration on it. So it was 61%, and after my decoration, it went to 66, and I maybe wanted to take it to 70, but not more than that, because I still want to have all the room. I don't want to cover everything of my whole market research into one article. I wanted to create this article week after week. Maybe I wanted to create 4 articles per week for next 2-3 months, and then test all my inputs, ideas, and go back and refine my research. That's what Phil mentioned, was starting with the MVP and then hone in different ideas, create the content, get feedback, refine your research. So it's not like one buyer persona is not one-time activity. Your target audience is also traveling through a path. They have the time path, and the environmental circumstances also impact them. So they are also changing. You are also changing, and that's why the buyer persona or this research is not one-time activity. You can sort of validate the idea and make it more better and better. So this is like why this course tells me, and you can immediately create hooks, intros of each paragraph. You can create a structure on which you can iterate. So I'm quickly introducing you different tools inside this content editor. These hooks are very important. You know, you're a digital marketer. Everything that we write as a catchy headline that capture the attention and then bring people into the next headline, into the next paragraph, then into the next paragraph. So initially I might get very raw recipe of this H1, H2 tag or these statements, but I can use this information, this captivating caption. So this one of the caption was four key questions to ask when you're looking for a digital marketing career. I press, I think it's still processing. It's sometimes very quick. Sometimes it takes some time. But you see, I got some structure, do's and don'ts for freshers, tips for better user experience. I'm getting more and more ideas. You can press number of times, but I'll just take this and expand on it. So that's what I was doing in my content. The initial 500 to 600 words you already have. And now using this captivating caption, headline intros, and content coach, you can expand on it. You can decorate your cake. And this is very, very specific to our audience research. These two things looks like I had some problem, but you see, I already have this here. So if I take it again back, this structure, I put it back here, and I can keep expanding my article. So let me do it fresh. So see, this was already quite a long article. Again, you can be making a video script. You can be making like a short micro content, and you will spend like your 2 hours per week. You do this and you're ready for rest of your week. You don't need to do again research, pain point analysis, and go to different tools. You have it here. You just need to now prepare for your idea, how you're going to create videos, how you're going to put it on the website, how you're going to get another information. You just need to spend like 1.5 hours. You have this master content. It can go to 2,500 words, but the next steps are here very simple. So I select this, and I don't need to write any command or anything. Either I say write me Athena. So write me Athena is when I wanted to complete a sentence, create a paragraph from existing. It's just exactly the writer's block. The block when you have something and you just stop, you don't know what to write as the next sentence, you use write me Athena. Write me Athena can write paragraph. And you say ask me Athena when you are asking a specific instruction to AI. So how to do this, top tips, or why, how, or anything of this nature of the information or bulleted point, I will use this ask me Athena. Do's and don'ts for freshers, tips for better user experience for landing page, the world's best blogs, 5 tips to make your profile stand alone from the crowd. All this information you can go and make like a 5-minute video, and your content, you're creating this content one time, right? So these are different tools. You can expand very quickly this content. So what we get here, do's and don'ts for fresher. Do's, start by building a foundation of skills. Don't expect to be an expert in everything overnight. Do, get involved in online and offline communities. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I don't think I think it's good, considering that we are talking to young student and professional who want to start their career in digital marketing. Now, what you notice that when I selected this, I have not given any context about who I'm writing. All this context is already there. We're just drawing the information. So semantically in the meaningful information, like you type something on Google, Google understand what you are trying to achieve as intent. This Athena is also like a semantic search engine which understand the intent. When I ask it, ask me Athena is exactly firing some queries back in the knowledge, and it's fetching some relevant information, creating a prompt, firing it to GPT-3, getting all the information back to you in a structured way. So we have limited the probability that the outcome will be random. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say here?
Yes, definitely. Definitely understand that.
Right, so I'll leave it for later for you to play around, but you can alternatively use write me Athena, ask me Athena, but remember write me Athena is to expand the paragraph. And once you get expand, like once I get this, right, do start by this, I can just use now write me Athena to expand it into paragraphs. So if I need to go on a video in next 15 minutes, I'm running out of the idea, I'll go here into my workspace, pull this information up, fire 2-3 times queries, and without even putting my pen and paper, I will get some script which I can go on live video after 15 minutes. And it will be consistent, no matter if you're coming 1 month back, still it will be consistent because the knowledge that you have created is there. If you don't have time, you are hiring 5 VAs to do this. VA means virtual assistant. You don't need to teach them about your business. Business knowledge is already there. They just need to learn how to press this button and get the relevant content. Every time they will press button, they cannot create irrelevant content. Content will be relevant to your business idea. And now this doesn't end up here, because then you have your whole market research here, which you can anytime refer, right? This first level of market research, all psychographic, pain points, everything is here. You can just pull one of these and start writing on it. Even if you have like running out of the idea, but your creative mind is working, you can write anything that you want here to include. And you just say, write me Athena or ask me Athena. It will work as long as you're not throwing completely 360 degree idea to it, then of course it will get confused. But as long as some creativity is coming up, you can always use that, and you don't need to remember, write command or anything else. Your all insights are also here. So all the insights that we have generated is also here. You can refer them anytime, any point of time. All the SERP data that connects with how to start your career in digital marketing is also there. And there's a way to consume your competitor content. And I will not demonstrate it, but I'll leave on for you to do it. Here is a question. So you generate question. So the tool will read this information. Athena will read this information and generate some smart questions. And based on those questions, you can also answer those questions. But while answering, Athena is not going to look at this content. So remember, like we just close the book and we have the question in mind. And without looking into the book, we are trying to answer that question. Exactly, this is the way we are going to consume competitor content, just having this content for the inspiration purpose. We're just trying to have the inspiration from this content. And with this inspiration, we're generating a question. And this question, then we are trying to answer using Athena. Every time we answer, the answer will not be from this information, but uniquely from your market research, from the content that you are creating. Again, when I generate something with a sort of time gap, I get some cold period here. So it starts warm up, and then after that it goes very fast. So there's something, that technical thing we are resolving, but it's quite fast. Once you start doing this, it comes up quite fast. Before I jump into next, I'll maybe come back here. But all the topics that your competitors are also targeting also available here. If there are questions on Quora related to this topic, that also getting pulled up here. All the news on this topic that is trending is also here. The idea here is you can take it and drop it somewhere as a external link or further suggested reading to your content, because Google always like when you refer to the different sources in your content, or even if you are creating video and if you refer the Forbes news or something which is going on currently in the market, it's always good, right, to give your audience further idea how to get more information. So the news content is also here on this particular topic. All the questions, it depends on what topic I have selected. Sometimes I get a lot of questions that are also on the Quora on these topics that you should be targeting. All these topics you should be targeting, but it's just for list for you, reference purpose. It's not necessary in one article you can cover all the topic. You can go on overview here. You can see that on average, all my competitors are writing 1,106 words on this particular topic. I have already content which is 1,638. So on average, I'm already creating more content that I should be creating. Topic score is 100% is not possible because your competitor are targeting different many topics, but still you wanted to achieve some level here, maybe 30, 40 scores. So you're talking about enough ideas. And once you start covering more ideas, of course, the score will also change. But these are all still KPIs, which are, you can also check other SEO tools, but most important KPI is this, right? It directly relate with your audience research. So how much score you have is showing me that am I going to get yes from Fred, or Fred will be excited, or Fred, if the score is below 40, Fred will not be happy because this content doesn't resonate with Fred. So this kind of idea is also part of here. Then templates are there, which I'm not going to talk because then it will be a bit overwhelming. It's also distraction free. If you wanted to remove all those and just focus on content creation, then you just use this Write Me Athena, Ask Me Athena, Summarizer, and we are adding more and more ideas here, which is just working as a handle. So does that make sense? Like it gives you good idea like where we're heading with this tool?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. I have recorded this conversation, so I'm happy to share with the rest of the group also later. Now it's
Thank you.
open to you. You have any questions, just feel free to ask.
So I was doing some research last night for a kind of a breaking market, a new marketplace, well, fairly new marketplace. And the niche in this, when we go back to a minimum viable niche, is it is it's a growing market, but it's not at any level of maturity yet. And I felt that I'm not a skilled user of Crawl as of yet. But it seems to be running out of ideas and steam. Although Google is quite heavily populated with articles about this new technologies, this cutting edge kind of thing. And I was wondering whether there's any way that I could try and guide Athena to find more information about this. I did imagine sending it to Google Scholar. And I started using exact, the speech markets quotations in some of the search terms, but it didn't really kind of help that much. Any tips on how we can use Athena for markets and niches that are just emerging?
Yes, so that would be a little challenge, but as long as you can feed the right information in the beginning here. So when I say in the beginning, it was the first initial 10 questions that you have answered. And if you have provided a specific knowledge about that market, right, the target audience, and you sort of narrowed it down. So if I'm talking about completely new market, then you need to put some element of that new market here.
Yeah.
And as long as the information is there, the steps, like I said, when you train Athena, at this stage, you're not training on the Google data, right? That's the next step. So what my impression is about new idea is that once you train on the search intent, and if you go back and again generate insights, then those insights will also take into account the Google data. So that is the level 2 of the, so you can again, of course, go back and repeat that level. But once you train Athena becomes single source of data with what your information, what AI can take information, and what Google has information. So it's a combo of artificial intelligence and Google data. And now you are going to use that information to go into the level second, which I haven't talked about here because I'm not prepared to overwhelm you, and you should not be overwhelmed as well. This is like natural way to progress your research. So you're on the course of the year, you're going to get case studies. During the year, you are going to get testimonials. You are going to figure out what will be your offer. You are going to figure out what will be your team. You are going to figure out what will be your call to action, how the features of the service are evolving, right? So this is not one-time research. You can feed it as you go along your MVP idea as you evolve, right?
Okay, yeah, that's clear. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Right, and if you face still some difficulties, like you don't get the right results, I think that we can discuss with each other, like what exactly is happening, why it's not getting right result. Because at some point of time, there's a limitation of GPT-3. You also know it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
At some point of time, we are trying to overcome this limitation by injecting more Google data, right? But you also know that GPT-3 can also synthesize the data, given that it knows some information. So, for example, maybe there is no COVID related idea with GPT-3, but if you frame specific sentences with that and inject to GPT-3, it can synthesize the language, and that's what I'm.
Okay, so that's where we get a lot of the erroneous stats and data that the AI pulls up. All AI tools make data, and that's the inference that is drawing.
Right. So what we can do, maybe we can take that specific case. We can go one and by call, and then we can go through the steps that you are performing. And maybe I can help to fine tune some steps, and we repeat this exercise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a great deal of sense. I'm seeing this with Crawl as a bit of a personal challenge now, because I can see the potential in the tool. So yeah, if talking to you now, I'll rerun what I did, and if I still come up against roadblocks, I'll be giving you a shout.
Sure. I mean, at some point of time, we are really going deep. So no matter what is the limitation of AI, if you are injecting some information like what books they read, what are their current metrics, who are their influencers, what blogs they are reading, forums they browse, right? This information cannot go wrong if you are also controlling this information, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Anything else which I can answer?
No, I'm going to turn my mic off now, Harish.
Sorry. Carolyn, Lucious, final words.
I didn't have any.
Oh, go ahead, ladies. The question, I really don't have any. Well, like you already told me, like with number two. Number two, how does number two turn green just like level one? I mean, level two become green like that, or it just stay blue?
I think it stays blue, and
okay.
Okay.
Now I just want to make sure I wasn't doing something wrong. Okay.
It just get unlocked because we already trained Athena. Until that point, it stays locked, and is green. Once you train Athena, then we can use that information to go into the level two. And when level two, I'm also breaking it down into several other sub levels. So you will see some changes, but we can iteratively train Athena, use that information, that point of time, stake the information and use it more meaningfully. We can also go back and use that information again to refine our initial idea. So Athena is staking the knowledge in an incremental way, and you can go back in the step and use that information which it has learned so far to refine the earlier information. So that's the goal, building an incremental knowledge in a very specific way, in a controlled way.
Thank you for this tool, because like I said, I was doing the demo just for a test product just to see, and I built out a demo, almost finished with it, demo one-page website just to see if just a normal person would actually like buy from the product. And I just went around, showed it my friends just from your research, and I got a lot of positive feedback. So I'm like, wow, this tool really works. So congratulations on your weapon, I should call it.
Thank you for this.
Cool.
Anything else? Carolyn?
No, I'm good. This was very good for me.
Okay, great. So right now, if anyone is looking for more information, you can direct them to the website. You can direct them to the pricing page. And if you are also interested in the CrawlQ certification program, they're running this program, collecting some initial information. If you have learned some basic things, how to write content, you have created some basic market research, you can get the certification and you can show to your client that I know how to work with the tool, and I can get you more better result. So this is something might be Phil is here. The testimonial is also here, Phil. So you see this certification can be useful, and I'm just throwing some advanced idea here. Whenever you create content, we wanted to make sure that content is unique. So that's what we business goal with this tool, that we wanted to create very unique content to the target audience. But at the same time, in our next journey, we also want to secure this content. So once you create the content on platform, it is stamped, certified. You are the passport holder of that content, and that's what will come through the certificate. Because in the backend, it will have an encrypted key, a public key and encrypted key, which will be at any point of time you can verify that this content was created by Lucious or Carolyn or Phil, and you can sort of own ownership. Now, I'm not at this stage going already full-fledged into blockchain direction, but this can be a precursor for a blockchain direction, which of course I need to discuss with the community how to bring or to that level. But I think this is an interesting idea already, that you sort of understand tool, how it works, and how we can sort of secure the uniqueness of the content and also the security and safety of the content. So that's like 2022 goal this year.
That's incredible.
Hopefully it makes sense. So thank you for your time today. And if anything that I could not answer, feel free to follow, and I'll post this recording as well on the group and also on the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye.